Madoka Magica is a classic anime. It's a series about silly magical girls doing silly magical girl things, and absolutely nothing goes wrong. So today I will be using a full team of Pokemon based on characters from Madoka Magica. If you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below, and I will use it. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Now let's get right into the battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using a Madoka Magica team. Special thank you to Psychic Jalen for this team idea. I have two interesting battles to showcase, and I hope you enjoy them. Now, this was a crazy lead. So I'm leading off with my Galarian Slowbro here for Mami, because she has the guns that she uses. And, this is actually not Slowbro. This is my Zoroark with low kick, and I just one-shot the Tyranitar. Oh, that was a crazy lead. Definitely they weren't expecting that. They were probably going to go for like a knockoff that turn. But I was able to get rid of the sand, which was incredibly crucial. So the King Gambit comes in, and I was really interested by that play because I was like, well, I just used low kick. That's going to be 4 times super effective on this thing as well. But I end up going for the protect this turn. So I was like, okay, well, they're just making me take more Sandstorm Chip on Homura here. Or, well, this is not Homura, but anyway, they terrestrialized their King Gambit into the Ghost type. So I was like, okay, well, I kind of almost went for knockoff this turn, but I ended up going for another low kick. I didn't expect them to terrestrialize so early on, but they end up going for the Sucker Punch, and that's obviously going to reveal Zoroark here. Oh, wait, this is Homura. I'm sorry. I got confused by the Slowbro nickname. But anyway, I would have chosen Absol for Homura, but like I ended up choosing Zoroark. There really wasn't like, I couldn't really find like the best Pokemon for her, so I ended up going with Zoroark. Now, the King Gambit is going to try to go for the Sucker Punch again, but I have Copycat on this set. I'm actually also running Protect on my Zoroark as well. So, obviously, the Copycat Sucker Punch is going to fail. Now, interestingly, if they do decide to go for, like, a Kowtow Cleave or something, then if I go for the Copycat Sucker Punch, then I might be able to go for, like, the Sucker Punch and be able to KO this King Gambit. But they go for the Protect again, and I go for the Copycat. So, I was like, okay, well, this turn, I'm going to go for the knockoff, in case they don't decide to sucker, in case they expect me to continue to go for Copycat. And I do get them on the knockoff. It doesn't take them out, unfortunately, but I do put this Pokemon on a very low amount of health, and they took a lot of Sandstorm Chip damage, and I knocked off the Black Glasses. So that was a Class A performance from Zoroark there. So I'm going to bring in Sayaka here for Empoleon. Now, of course, she uses swords, and I have a Swords Dancing Empoleon, a physical set. Now, I'm going to go for the Aqua Jet on the incoming Houndstone. They interestingly go for the Crunch. I expected them to go for Last Respects because I was worried about this Pokemon very much so because of the sand support that it has with Sand Rush and everything, but without that, obviously, they're probably just going to sack it off, so I'm going to take it out with 2 Liquidations. Now, this is a physical sweeping Empoleon. I have a Swords Dance, Aqua Jet, Liquidation, and Earthquake with Terra Water, and the Splash Plate as the item to boost my water moves. So when Ogerpon Cornerstone comes in, they're going to go for that Spiky Shield. Now, this turn, I went for Aqua Jet just because I was expecting to be taken out by a Horn Leech or a Wood Hammer, but they're going for the knockoff. I actually take the knockoff. It knocks off my Splash Plate. Now, this turn, I was like, well, they are more than likely going to go for the Spiky Shield, right? So I'm just going to set up my Swords Dance in front of this Pokemon, and I am in Torrent range as well. So my Aqua Jet should be doing a lot of damage, and it gets so close, but I missed the KO, unfortunately, just barely. And man, if I had my Splash Plate still, I would have been able to take out the Ogerpon with the Aqua Jet. But I'm going to bring in Mami here, and I'm just going to tank the knockoff. I really didn't have much to deal with this Pokemon, so I was relying on my natural buff for Galarian Slowbro, and I'm going to take them out with the Shelled Sidearm. So this is a fully offensive Galarian Slowbro. I have Shell Sidearm, Psychic, Fire Blast, and Ice Beam. Now, the Lapras comes in, and they're going to start setting up Dragon Dances, which is very threatening, for sure. I'm just going to go for the Side Shot, get as much chip damage as possible. Maybe I should have went for the Shell Sidearm that turn, but they're going to go for the Drill Run. I had the Sugar Berry on that, but that got knocked off, and I get taken out by the Drill Run. But hey, at least it wasn't Crunch, right? So I'm going to swap in QB here for Espeon. I thought that their designs matched a lot, very well. And this is a very fitting Espeon set because I have a Wish on this. And, you know, Madoka Magica is all about wishing and everything, right? So I have Wish on this. and this is like a specially defensive Espeon with like Thunder Wave. I have Psychic Noise, Wish Protect on this. So I'm gonna go for the Psychic Noise. I really wanted to paralyze this Lapras so that my Diancie could come in and outspeed this, because this was a really big threat actually. So I'm gonna get taken out there by the liquidation, but I was like, you know what, that's fine. I have my Diancie to come in and revenge KO this. Now this is for Kyoko. She has a fire motif, so I actually gave this Terra Blast Fire. I have a Rock Polish sweeping set with the air balloon as the item, and I have Moonblast and Power Gem, which I use to take out the Lapras. So the Blastoise comes in, big threat just dropped. So I'm gonna go into Madoka here for Blissey, and they're just gonna set up that Shell Smash. So I was like, okay, this is a very interesting scenario. I'm running an offensive Blissey, so this is like no health, a max special attack, and max speed, and I have Thunderbolt on this. But the Blastoise is not going to get 2-hit KO'd by that, and I'm really worried about it potentially like barely living and getting a torrent boosted Surf. So look at how much that Surf does. So I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt here, and it does just under half. So if I go for another Thunderbolt, it's going to put it like in the red, and I'm going to get taken out the next turn by a torrent boosted Surf. So I went for the Alluring Voice this turn so that I would just barely get it out of Surf range for a torrent, and I barely am able to live the Surf because it wasn't in torrent, and I'm gonna be able to take them out with the Thunderbolt. That was, if I put it in torrent range, I would have lost that game for sure, because it was going to outspeed and Oko my Diancie, and my Diancie has Terra Fire, so I wouldn't be able to defensively get out of that situation. So I actually am running a Custap Berry on this Blissey, and I do have Healing Wish, but my Diancie is at full HP, so I didn't really see any point in like randomly going for Healing Wish, and they're just gonna take me out with the Sucker Punch. So I was like, okay, well, this King Gambit has revealed Kowtow, Cleave, Sucker Punch, and Protect. I'm not sure if the last move is Iron Head or if it's Sword Stance. They haven't revealed that. So I'm just going to Terrasilize here into the fire type. She has a fire motif, so I thought it was like the best fit. I really couldn't find any Pokemon that had like the weapon that she uses, that like bamboo spear. So they're just going to go for the Protect, unfortunately. Now, this turn I was like, well, this is kind of a no-risk play, because even though they are at Fallen 5, with the Supreme Overlord, they're never going to KO me with the Sucker Punch just because of my natural bulk. So I'm going to be able to take that Sucker Punch, and I'm going to go for the Terra Blast Fire on this King Gambit, and it's on a very low amount of health, so I'm going to be able to take it out. And that's the end of that first game. A crazy nickname, by the way. Their nicknames were like full of characters. It was pretty interesting. But that's the end of that first game. Kyoko definitely helped me out in that end game. And so now on to the second game. Now, I will say that if you enjoyed these Pokemon DMT videos, then please consider dropping a like. It really helps out these videos and spreads them to other people's like subscriptions, or not subscriptions, but like their home feed. And I really am trying to grow my channel, so I would really appreciate it. Now, the lead Mimikyu is going to do some crazy damage to me with the Play Rough there, Life Orb boosted as well. So I was like, well, shoot, I took a lot of damage on this. And I don't really want to sacrifice my Diancie either, so I'm just going to swap in my Empoleon here on the resisted Play Rough, but they actually end up going for the Shadow Sneak, and I get crit by that. So I was like, okay, well, hopefully I should be able to take a Shadow Claw, which I do, and I'm going to be able to be in torrent range now and take out the Mimikyu with the liquidation. So, you know, Mimikyu is a very threatening Pokemon, so I was glad I was able to take out that. Now, the Scizor comes in. They're going to try to Bullet Punch me, but I 4 times resist that, and I'm max health. So I'm going to go for that Torrent boosted liquidation. It does so much damage, and then I'm going to be able to pick off the Scizor with the Aqua Jet. We normally are, I believe we have the exact same speed stat, but I actually had a little bit of speed investment on this Empoleon, which allowed me to out-prioritize their Bullet Punch and take them out with the Aqua Jet, which is really nice. So I'm going to get Revenge KO'd by the Dragonite's Extreme Speed, and I was worried about this Pokemon having an Earthquake, but they end up having Fire Punch. I did have a Sugar Berry anyway, but I'm just going to go for that Ice Beam, break its multi-scale. It does some really good damage, but and I freeze it. Oh my gosh. Look at it. It's just suspended in midair. It looks amazing. So I was like, well, that's really good. It doesn't have Earthquake at the very least as well, and Fire Punch really didn't do much of anything to me. So I'm just going to go for another Ice Beam on the incoming Golden Go, and I thought, well, this Pokemon is definitely going to go for the Shadow Ball, I have an easy switch in into my Blissey here. Even without any health investment, Blissey is just, it does take special hits pretty well. Not like as good as obviously like a max health Blissey, but it does take them at the very least. I also thought that this Blissey was very fitting for Madoka. It kind of looks like her magical girl outfit. I actually have Terra Fairy on this as well. So the Ursaluna Blood Moon comes in. Now their last Pokemon besides Dragonite were all special attackers. Focus Blast misses unfortunately, but then I'm able to land the next Focus Blast. So I was like, okay, that's good. I do some good damage, just about half to this Ursaluna Blood Moon, and they get a special defense drop. So the next Focus Blast should be enough to take it out. They're going to go for the Blood Moon. Yeah, as you can see, it does a lot of damage to me, but their Vacuum Waves aren't really doing much, and yeah, my Focus Blast misses again. They probably went for the Vacuum Wave anticipating that they would get taken out the next turn. So this turn I thought, well, I'm going to go for the Alluring Voice. I'm not going to try to risk another Focus Blast in case I get 1v1 by this, and I'm gonna take them out with 2 Alluring Voices, and I imagine they were gonna go for the Blood Moon that turn. That might have been very close to taking me out. So the Golden Go comes in. This was amazing. Golden Go comes in, goes for the Make It Rain. I lived on 1 HP. I was like, what the heck? And I'm gonna go for that Thunderbolt and do some good damage to the Golden Go. Now this turn I thought, well, I actually want to go for the Healing Wish this turn because my Kyoko is on a very low amount of health, or it's on a lowish amount of health, and I really want that Pokemon healthy. So I'm just going to go for that Healing Wish, the Custap Berry Healing Wish. Again, very fitting for this anime. And I'm going to swap in my Espeon here. Now, this is a specially defensive Espeon, so I knew that I would be able to handle the Walking Wake that's going for like its barrage of special attacks, and I wanted to paralyze it as well and keep going for Psychic Noises. I get a pretty big crit, but I figured that, you know, this Walking Wake wouldn't really break through me. They actually get another crit of their own on with the Dragon Ball, so I was like, okay, well, crit for a crit, that's fair. But I'm just gonna keep going for Psychic Noises. And I'm just gonna take these Dragon Pulses for days, and I'm just gonna go for another Psychic Noise and take out the Walking Wake. So I was like, okay, well, their last 2 Pokemon are Frozen Dragonite and a Golden Go. So this turn I thought, well, I could go for the Psychic Noise chip, but it really isn't going to do a lot of damage to this Golden Go. So I'm just going to go for the Wish this turn. But they actually end up terrestrializing their Golden Go into Terra Flying. Maybe expecting me to have Shadow Ball, but man, I wish I went for the Psychic Noise this turn. It would have done some neutral damage, but I opted to go for the Wish this turn because it's QB. Obviously, I have to make some wishes. But they're going to go for the Shadow Ball, and even though I'm max special defense, this Pokemon has a lot of good offense, so I'm not going to be able to take that. Now, this turn, I thought, well, I could go into Homura here. Historic is not Disguise, oops. But I'm going to go for the Knockoff here, and Knockoff, it's a Metal Coat. Oh my gosh, its Make It Raise would have been super strong. But even without the Metal Coat, I'm not going to be able to get taken all the way down to my Focus Sash. Now, this turn, I thought, well, this is really interesting, actually. I can go for something pretty funny here. So I'm going to get that Wish Recovery off on my Zoroark. And I thought, well, I'm going to go for the Copycat here. And I'm going to go for the Copycat Make It Rain Zoroark. And that's going to be able to take out the Golden Go. I actually am running max attack on this, so I actually have no special attack investment. So thankfully, that was still able to take out the Golden Go. And the last Pokemon is the Dragonite. Now, this turn I thought, well, it's still frozen. I wonder if it's going to be able to thaw. I go for the Knockoff. It doesn't take it out, unfortunately, but I do knock off the Silk Scarf, and they do thaw, and they go for the Fire Punch. I'm wondering if the Fire Punch actually thawed it out. I don't think it did, but they were able to thaw out and take out my Zoroark. Now, this turn, I thought, well, I have my Kyoko in the back, and I do have my Healing Wish stored, and that's going to allow me to recover all the way up to full HP, and I'm just going to go for the Moonblast this turn. That Dragonite ended up having Roost as well, so I was like, okay, it's probably like Dragon Dance Roost, and they probably have like nothing to touch me with, right? So I'm just going to go for the Moonblast, take out the Dragonite. That's the end of both games. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed both of these battles. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.